Welcome back to the Broad Street Benchwarmers podcast. Ethan Loviditis and Michael Cormelos here with me as always. And we're coming to you a little late, but after Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, not the most exciting, but
No.
still something. So,
Yeah.
thoughts?
I mean, I don't want to blame it on Patrick Mahomes at all. He had the most ridiculous throws I've ever seen. Like running for his life.
Oh, off the ground. Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. As much as I wanted Chiefs to win and the Bucks to lose, they played a really good game on both sides of the ball. Like that defense. We talked about the offensive line, and they just got completely destroyed. So I don't know. Hopefully, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say because the score kind of speaks for itself. They got nothing going. Like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill did virtually nothing. Patrick Mahomes did everything he could. Secondary was really good for Tampa. And the defensive line, obviously, they had Patrick Mahomes running for his life, especially with that injured foot. It's like, yeah, I don't really know what else you can do. So congrats to the Bucks, and hopefully it doesn't happen ever again because I don't want to see Tom Brady with another ring.
I have two things to say about this game. First, I think people were saying since before Brady to Tampa was even a suggestion that Bucks were a quarterback away from being a franchise, like to being a household name, and they were right. Literally, all they had to do was replace Jameis. They literally did nothing else this offseason. I guess Tristan.
Wow.
Yeah, they get worse than Winfield.
Winfield, yeah.
Winfield too. But like outside of those two rookies, like virtually no changes to the roster. 20 out of 22 players were starting last year. Antonio Brown, I guess, too. But like, I mean, it happened. They were a quarterback away, and I want to say that just flat off, if you blame Cam Newton for his loss in 2015, if you blame Cam Newton for the Panthers' loss, then you should blame Patrick Mahomes for this loss because Cam Newton played under virtually the same circumstances and they got killed and everyone blamed Cam Newton. So there you go. Then you should hold Patrick Mahomes to that same standard, in my opinion. And thinking about the Chiefs, if people want to say it's if they had the O-line, they would be fine. They really wouldn't have been because even if they did, Travis Kelce was dropping wide open footballs. Tyreek Hill was dropping wide open footballs. It was terrible. The whole team played terrible.
I mean, for me, I think I texted both of you guys during the game. The real shocking thing for me coming out of this game is I've never seen an Andy Reid Kansas City Chiefs team come out with less effort.
Yeah.
It just seemed, mentally, we obviously have the defensive mistakes before the half. The multiple pass interference penalties. We can argue about
Matthew. Yeah, I feel like the Tyrann Mathieu shenanigans kind of was like the kiss of death.
Yeah. That threw the game away.
Yeah, I mean, they came out of the locker room. I mean, I thought at least there would be some, that would put some kind of fight, some kind of spirit. But, it was just completely deflating. And I honestly,
have to be honest, I could not think that Kansas City was trying to win that game. Anybody but Patrick Mahomes is trying to win that game.
I think they're trying to win that game. I just can't see them wanting it more. I think for that Tampa franchise, through what they've gone through the past couple of years, I mean, obviously drafting Jameis #1 and having that, pan out the way it did, not fantastically, having him as your franchise guy. I mean, having this defense that was, bottom 5 in the NFL for 3 out of the past 5 years and just trying to turn that around, change the culture the way Todd Bowles has done, and give so much credit to Todd Bowles. I mean,
definitely.
I think within the next 2 years, that is a guy who definitely should have a head coaching job despite what he did in New York.
Let's not go that far. We remember what happened last time he was a coach.
Well, yeah, I agree. But the too high safety concept, just, getting Tyreek and Travis Kelce and forcing Mahomes to go underneath. I mean, I wouldn't say they limited them too much, even though a lot of it was in garbage time. Kelce still finished with 10 catches for 133 yards. Tyreek still finished with 7 for 80. Like, they're not terrible numbers on paper, but the obvious impact was not there, and you could see that. And then as far as the offensive line, I mean, we talked about it last. I think part of the problem was just Andy Reid and Kansas City's game plan going in. We talked about last week in Buffalo. A lot of those RPOs, relying on the ground, and kind of this Sean McVay tricky playbook a lot more than they did in previous weeks. And I saw little to none of that Sunday. And I don't know, it didn't seem like they made many adjustments out of the locker room outside of that first drive when they just handed it to Edwards-Helaire like 4 times.
Yeah, and then it was working, and then they just didn't do anything. It was like, why? That was working. You guys are going to score.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't understand a lot of portions of this collapse, specifically from Kansas City, with a team that we hyped, as one of the greatest offenses to ever come.
You hyped them.
Hey,
they won 14 games.
I personally am not a Kansas City hype train guy. I don't think they'll play in the Super Bowl next year. I think another team in the AFC will trump them. I don't know who it's going to be, but I see it coming. I can't see that they make a third straight AFC Championship game. I think this might sound crazy, but I think Cleveland's coming.
Or Buffalo. Or
I mean, to kind of transition with that, I mean, just as far as the offseason,
they don't have a budget now.
Yeah.
You invested in Mahomes and Chris Jones. You don't have a budget now. You got to work with what you have on defense.
Yep.
And what you have on defense is not good.
Yep.
You got Jones and Matthew, and you don't have enough money for when the time comes around to re-sign Matthew.
Yeah. This draft has to be based on offensive line and secondary.
No, not even offensive line. That offensive line is fine outside of the 2 tackles they were missing. I mean, if you look, there's probably not going to be any corners that are going to be worth reaching. I think Fairley, Surtain, and Horn go before Kansas City's pick.
Yeah. Isn't that Jay
Stokes is worth reaching. There's no safety, in my opinion, worth reaching on the first round this year. And then linebackers, I don't think – I mean, Bolton.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a great one on the board. There wouldn't be I think Collins would go like mid-teens, early 20s.
I think Nick Bolton on the board would be a fine pick.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, they really they messed up. They need to make some trade. If they want to start trading their picks for defensive players, I mean,
might as well.
That might be what they have to do because their defense stinks.
And I mean, you could all look at guys like, Sammy Watkins, as trade assets at this point.
Yeah.
Watkins is a free agent.
Just offenses. Sammy Watkins is a free agent?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll bring him back.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the space. And then for Tampa Bay, I mean, this is pretty much to bring everybody back, but you're looking at guys like Shaquille Barrett, you're looking at guys like Antonio Brown, who are free agents. Yeah. I mean, it is going to be tougher to repeat for sure.
And certain players on that team, I think Mike Evans specifically, have said they're going to take pay cuts to make sure that the team can stay together. So
I'm pretty sure Godwin is either up for an extension this year or next year, and that's.
I think Godwin's next year.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll probably pick up his 5th-year option.
And he'll get a bag. I mean, he's probably. I mean, I've thought he's overrated throughout the season just because of the top 100 thing and everybody putting him within their top 10. But I think he's definitely top 15. He's definitely solid, even if I think Evans is better overall.
And Evans, you also have to. They're 2 different types of receiver. Mike Evans, just throw it up. He's going to catch it. Chris Godwin is more speedy, throwing on a slant, throw a post. Mike Evans, just send him on a vertical and pray.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
comes to a really good dual threat with probably the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
Yeah, probably.
Lockton and Metcalf.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Gronk is.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think Kansas City needs to expect Cleveland because I think Cleveland's going to go Dell back. Yeah. Cleveland's going to get some of the O-linemen they were missing back. That game was within 5.
Yeah.
22-20. I know Mahomes was out. Yeah. But Chad Henne played really good. Ted Henne was pretty much doing things Mahomes was doing.
I don't know about that one.
They
That
need-
pick in the end zone.
No.
I mean, they need to watch out. Cleveland's coming, and Cleveland's bad.
Yeah.
Stefanski won Coach of the Year for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I love Baker, but as long as Baker is the quarterback of that football team, they don't really terrify me, to be dead honest.
They terrify me.
They
Chubb,
terrify
Nick Chubb. Imagine Nick Chubb
Yeah.
season.
me. Yeah.
They're 13. They're
Is
13
Kareem Hunt a
team.
free agent though? Isn't
Nope.
Kareem Hunt a free agent?
No, I think he's still
Yeah, I
around
think
for
so.
it.
I think
He
he'll
might be, but
Okay.
yeah, they probably can. And I forgot to mention this, but like during that playoff run, I think Greedy Williams was out. I think Ward was nursing an injury, at least going into the playoffs. And
Can we count Greedy Williams anymore?
I don't know, but seriously, that secondary was rough in the playoffs, and they didn't have Grant Delpit all season, and I mean, that could help.
It's going to make a huge impact. I don't know how he fell to run to.
I mean, he was a top 20 pick.
Like, yeah, no, he was early
yeah,
second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, before he got.
I mean, if I'm looking through Cleveland's schedule and I'm looking at the teams that they lost, like, I don't know. I think somehow Chubb can make an impact in a couple of these games that they lost that he was out for. I mean, and if you look at that Jets game where all the wide receivers got COVID, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is really underrated. I think that this team can easily go like 13 wins, win the division.
I don't know. I mean, I've always been high on them. I had them 11-5 going into the year. I love what they're building. What?
I had them at 10-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they need to probably I think the D-line's fine. They have a really good secondary, in my opinion, especially when they're going to get Delpit. I think if they can get some linebackers, maybe Owosu Carmoa at whatever pick they have in the 20s.
Yeah.
Pick at 20.
Is he going to make it that far?
26.
I've seen him on the boards.
So maybe they reach on Bolton or Zaven Collins.
Yeah.
But if they're there, I think that's a great pick for them. I think linebackers really don't need on that team.
Yeah.
They have like
maybe just IDL.
ends. Harrison Bryant, Njoku, and Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have Nick Chubb and possibly Kareem Hunt. And I mean, if they get rid of Kareem Hunt, it's going to make Nick Chubb even better.
Yeah.
That's true.
They have Baker. I mean, Baker Mayfield's always been solid. They're going to get Odell back. They always had Jarvis Landry, Hollywood Higgins, and then Donovan Peoples-Jones at the end of the year. And he had that one game where he caught the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line.
It's still
Yeah, it's still really good. Wyatt Teller. Yeah.
I don't know the other guys, but I know they're good.
Jedrick Wills is basically a Pro Bowler as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jedrick Wills. And I feel the defense, Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That D-line is still really. All right, so we got over the AFC, but just looking at the NFC, who's gonna really challenge Tampa Bay?
San Francisco and Los Angeles.
Yep. Green Bay could still be a threat. I think they definitely still could be. But even looking at like Dallas, getting Dak back.
If they get Dak back, there's not even
guarantee. It's a big question mark, but for some reason.
Jerry Jones doing it again. He's doing his thing. You never know.
I think even if, they can't lock him up on the long-term deal and agree on the money, I think, the franchise tag definitely is an option. I don't see Dak Prescott as a guy who, after being injured, would hold out the entire season. I don't know.
They said about Le'Veon Bell, and here we are. He's on the.
Oh, Le'Veon Bell didn't. What, Dak tear his ACL, his Achilles?
He tore everything.
So
he just does not have a left leg.
He'll be fine. I mean, obviously, mobility is a big part of his game, so that is a slight worry. But I still believe
on pace to throw for 6,000 yards. Mobility is the number one problem.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that there is a team in the NFC South that's going to replace the Saints as the true competitors to Tampa Bay. That's Carolina.
If they trade for Deshaun, but that's like the only way I can see that.
What?
If they trade for Deshaun, but that's about.
If it is, get rid of Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that is a Trey Lance location. I think that's highly likely.
If they just get
I
a
don't think
different
that turns
quarterback, if
around.
you think about that team, they have 2,000-yard receivers. They have Christian McCaffrey. That defense is so young and so talented.
Yeah, I like Brian Burns.
Brian Burns, Yeturgos Matos, Derek Brown, Jeremy Kidd.
Yeah.
There's 4 off the top of my head. Like 4 young rookies that are going to be sophomores next, not sophomores. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that team in a couple of years is going to be a contender. I also think Washington, regardless of who's going to be quarterback, because you saw Alex Smith lead them to 7-9. I really think if Haskins didn't start one too many games, that team probably would have had a winning record.
But I think with the quarterback thing, I think their ceiling is always going to be what they did last year. I think the last piece to that is finding that franchise guy at quarterback, and Taylor Heineke might be that guy. I mean, we don't really know. We've seen one game. He was fantastic in that one game. We've seen crazier stuff happen. You know what I mean?
And you have to think. You need to take it into consideration how many games Dwayne Haskins played and how many of those games that they played would have been wins. If you go to
I don't know, bro.
If you go to week 6, go to either of the games against New York. Not the second one because Alex Smith played that game. That was their fault. That was Smith's fault.
The first one, they probably wouldn't have won it either. I watched that game.
Everyone watched it. Kyle Allen.
Defensively, they weren't fantastic. The Washington secondary was not fantastic either.
If you look at the Lions game, they should have won. I don't know. The defense choked that one too.
Yeah.
Carolina, I mean, you just got to think about, like, this team easily could have been like 9-7-ish. I mean, Taylor Heineke came in at the end of that game and almost carried them all the way back. He had 140 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's also a threat on the ground, something Dwayne Haskins or Alex Smith can't really provide.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Washington 10-win team next year.
I mean, for me, again, you know, I can't predict anything without truly knowing whether Taylor Heineke is going to be the starter and what Taylor Heineke brings to the table completely.
Well,
just off one playoff game.
Team matters right now because that defense carried them, and the defense led them to the playoffs with Dwayne Haskins starting 6 games this season. That defense can carry them to the playoffs with significantly better.
But again, Dallas is getting significantly better. Like, if Dak Prescott returns and they draft,
any corner, any of the top corners.
Yeah. Farley, I think, would be fantastic. I think he'd be great.
But you also have to take into consideration a corner's length to get in the NFL.
They're not great off the rim.
There's a reason Kudo was terrible this year because they threw him against Mike Evans every game.
That's true.
Michael Thomas.
That's true. But compared to what they have, like one of the worst secondaries ever to play the game of football, like.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, that's why you can't judge Okudah based off this year. But in 3 years, if Okudah still sucks, then I definitely say he's a bust. But he's a bust right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember how Jalen Ramsey was his rookie year.
I mean, another team I'm looking at is the Rams. Jared Goff sucks, and he's gone.
Matt Stafford's
does not suck.
Above average.
Yep.
I mean, this team won games. This team won games with John Wolford.
Yep.
Like, wow. This team lost to the Jets. Okay, that team's not losing to the Jets. This team got killed by Buffalo. Team almost lost to New York. Like,
just the creativity. Yeah.
These are games that Matthew Stafford's winning.
Yeah. And what he brings to that, he is exactly, like we talked about in the first pod, exactly what Sean McVay wants to do, are all the things Matt Stafford does well. You know, that RPO game.
And I think how good Cooper Kupp's going to be next year, and Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is a must-have in fantasy next year.
Yeah.
He's going to improve so much.
And that defense has got a lot of young guys, too.
Yeah.
So, I
don't know if you've heard of him. His name's Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and they have like two, like the best corner and the best defensive lineman in the league.
Yeah.
Casually.
They have that one dude that picked off Brady twice. They have John Johnson.
Yep.
They have a pretty decent linebacking core. I mean, and I think Sean McVay has proved this every single year. He does not need draft picks.
Yep.
Yeah. No, not really. Because he still hits on the late round ones, so it's not like he.
And the practice squad guys. I mean,
Cam
there are
Akers.
multiple.
Look at Cam Akers. Drafted him round 4, starting
Yep.
running back in the NFL.
Yep.
I think he's going to be one of a fantasy must-have next year. But I mean,
he will be, but I'm not taking him because I took him this year and had to drop him.
And then one more team I think that's going to be really good. I can't think that they can be overlooked after their performance this year, because their whole team was injured at some point.
San Fran.
Is San Francisco. I mean, if you really think about like the crap that team had to go through, they had their best defensive player IR week 2 out for the year. Inconsistencies at quarterback, which can be solved this season, or if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy, I think that team's still a playoff team.
Yep.
If Raheem Mostert can stay healthy, Raheem Mostert's insane. You've seen him play. You saw him. One play, 80 yards.
Yeah.
It's the Jets that one game.
Yeah.
Like I got it's the Jets, yeah, whatever. But like still, like 80 yards, like that's pretty impressive. I mean,
just having that rotation of backs. Oh god.
They do have a good rotation of backs.
Yeah.
Coleman, not Matt Brady, he's gone.
Like Jeff Wilson.
JaMychal Hasty. Fantasy football legend.
I mean, this team, they went out there and they competed. Like, even with that crappy defense, they went out, they beat the Rams twice. They almost beat Arizona twice.
They also lost to the Andy Dalton Cowboys, but
yeah.
They didn't have Kittle for most of the year too, so like
Kittle coming back.
Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa.
We forget how good Bosa is. I mean, he's a legitimate threat to take down Aaron Donald in that Defensive Player of the Year race. Yeah. I mean, he's just going to improve. What?
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
Deebo Samuel too.
Ayuk,
Ayuk. Everybody's saying, I haven't got the chance to see him watch much tape, but everybody's saying he's one of the top, 3 best rookie receivers. So I have to watch more tape of him. Exactly.
I mean, I think there's I think that team can really go back to Super Bowl form.
Yeah.
If the injuries don't play a part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My teams. I mean, you guys can. Do you guys have any other teams you think are really good?
I think that's I can't really think of any that are really going to break out.
On New Orleans a little bit.
No. Yeah, because their future is grim.
Their future is cloudy, but at the same time, when you think about how Drew Brees played this year,
very bad,
and you think about the impact that Jameis Winston with a year on the bench possibly could make. I mean, there's still potential in this guy. This is a guy who, Tampa didn't want to let go. Had Tom what?
This is a guy who threw 30 interceptions in the season. I cannot. I'm so high on Jameis Winston, and I'm not saying I won. I don't wish on anyone to not do well. Like, even in the Super Bowl, like, I don't. In all these Super Bowls that the Patriots were in, I hated Tom Brady, but like, it's not like I was successful. I want Winston to be successful so badly because I hate calling people busts. But like 30 interceptions in a season. Yeah. I cannot imagine why Sean Payton wants him as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless he's feeding him steroids to make him not throw interceptions.
Well,
This isn't a thing. This
is the number 1 overall pick, though. This is the talent out of college, and he has shown flashes. I mean, his rookie year, which might have been his best year, he was fantastic.
Even his 30 for 30 year, when he wasn't throwing picks, you have to take into consideration 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's just. If it's a team-friendly deal, I don't see why not. Because unless they want to reach for a quarterback like Kyle Trask, I don't really see them.
And a lot of the things out of Tampa, a lot of the things that people had to say about, why he kind of collapsed there, they were, leadership things, maturity things. So if he has time in that New Orleans Saints atmosphere, not that I'll say that it's a winning atmosphere after that second round playoff, but it is an accomplished atmosphere with a lot of dudes who have done great things in this league. So we'll see. I think there is potential. I can see that being a 9 or 10 win team. That's all I'm saying.
I just want to pitch in. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I think Minnesota will be good next year.
I hope so.
I think they'll be better.
I think they had some injuries for their defense. Everson Griffin was never mind. They traded him, but Eric Kendricks was injured for a while, I think.
Yeah, Judah Hunter, I think, was hurt.
Mm.
I mean, those are their two like huge defensive pieces that are like the backbone of that defense. I mean, if they're
And
out,
just Jefferson and Dalvin Cook will only get better.
yeah. Plus,
honestly.
also they had two young corners.
Mhm.
They had Gladney and Dantzler, who were both really good when they weren't injured. So I mean,
It's really improving that D line.
yeah. And I mean, it's going to improve when Kendricks comes back.
That's true. But
So,
I mean,
I
up
think
front,
that's a dark horse team to win the NFC North.
Yeah, it's definitely open considering how everything's going, like Green Bay and Chicago and Detroit's not going to be good.
I don't know.
Obviously.
I mean, the fact that we said it was open last year, though, what? The fact that we said it was open last year, though, and the kind of collapse of all three of these teams, I'm incredibly cautious to say anything.
But they didn't fall apart.
Yeah.
They kept Trubisky and they were guaranteed winning 10 games.
Yeah. But I mean, a 5-1 start and then finishing 7-9. That was
8-8.
8-8. Yeah.
I mean, there are some of those games that Foles, like if Trubisky.
Yeah, it kind of got
I'm not trying to say Trubisky's some sort of like god, but like he's substantially better than Foles. And probably if he's in some of those situations, like the first New Orleans game, they played in the regular season, they probably would have won that. I mean, there are a couple games they should have won, in my opinion.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe Matt Nagy is a terrible coach who should not be a part of any NFL team right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Trubisky plays like he has a blindfold over his face for
that's
probably.
What saying, bro. He based it off the past years. He wasn't bad this season. There's no tape to make me think that he was bad this season.
I guess, but
he only threw for 200 yards in the playoff game and a touchdown. Like, oh no! And like, my counter argument to that is that someone dropped a 60-yard pass at 260 to 200 is a pretty big comparison.
Yeah.
The decision making and the somewhat deer in headlights feel that he gives me he reminds me of Sam Bradford.
The decision making wasn't even terrible this year. He really this was going to be his best season. I don't know why they benched him. Because they were already mounting a comeback against Atlanta. He was building momentum. And then Matt Nagy was like, yeah, take him out. We don't need him. We have Nick Foles.
Well, they should have been up. They should have been up in that Atlanta game.
They were going to win it regardless of who was playing quarterback.
I don't know, bro. I think he deserves another shot for sure.
I think a change of
but
scenery
I don't know that it should be in Chicago. Yeah.
I mean, I think if he went to Colts, maybe if they don't trade for Wentz, I think Trubisky's a free agent. I think Indianapolis is a really good landing spot. You got Frank Reich, will be a really good mentor for him.
I mean, if I'm Indy and I can get him on like a $5 million a year deal, that's fine.
Well,
but I'm not paying him the same money I paid Phillip Rivers.
I'm thinking you sign like a 1 year, like $10 million contract.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm doing that. I don't know that I'm committing that much money to Trubisky right now.
1 year, so I mean, if it doesn't work out,
I guess. But still, I would rather have, I don't know, Mac Jones and just try.
I don't know about Mac Jones. As the days go on, I'm not thinking he's going to be too great.
I'm not either. Honestly,
the same reason
I have more hope for him than I do Trubisky right now.
And I mean, I think it's for the same reason. Outside of Tua, no Alabama quarterback ever translates in the NFL because they go from having God squad to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Well, that's Oklahoma, not. So, should we move into our final segment of the day?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we need to be thinking. The offseason, the draft's coming up. It's a big draft for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one team right here that two people that picks at 6 that has a lot of decisions to make this offseason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's not going to go well if they don't make it right. So first, I want to talk about Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, not a question. If this is pending trades.
Yes, it's
If the day this goes up, the Jets trade for Deshaun Watson the day later, I'm gonna They're obviously not going to draft Fields, but that's what it needs to be. Lawrence and Fields, pick 3.
I don't know, bro. I'm hearing all this Zach Wilson buzz. I'm hearing a lot of Wilson buzz, and I don't know if it's just like a cover up, like that usually happens. But I'm not totally sure. Even though I do think Fields is substantially better, I really do.
I don't think Salah's gonna pick Wilson.
I don't know.
We'll keep tabs on this in the event. He does, but not sure.
Pick 3, Dolphins. This is Chase or Waddle. I mean Chase or Smith.
I think there's the Tua connection. It's just
that's too good to pass.
Smith, because I think people just forget how dominant Jamar Chase was because he opted out.
I agree.
If he played, he probably would have had a higher chance of getting Heisman than Devontae. But that's just a topic for another day. All right, 4 Atlanta defense. I don't care.
I can't.
Or Zach Wilson.
I don't care. I can't give up on Matt Ryan. I can't give up on a guy who threw 40.
I wouldn't give up on Matt Ryan either.
I'd rather just draft his replacement now.
Out of there his replacement.
If Fields or Wilson's on the board, they're too good to pass up.
Yeah. I mean, I think you wait till next year. You're going to suck this year. If Matt Ryan is really, truly bad this year, then I get next year Howell, Rattler, whatever.
I didn't even think Matt Ryan was that bad last year.
Matt Ryan was great. Really he literally threw for 4,500 yards and almost 30 touchdowns. I don't know why everyone in Atlanta's like, Zach Wilson.
I can't really understand that Atlanta front office, period. Just the way they've botched all these drafts defensively over the past couple of years.
Parsons. I don't know why Parsons is slipping down draft boards. It's the same reason Chase is slipping down draft boards.
Yeah, hazing. Good old hazing. Yeah, I don't know if there's a good truly NFL ready player to get. I think if they want to trade down, that's fine. If they really want to address defense, because top 4 for, let's say, Surtain or Farley or even Parsons, I think is too high. I'd rather just get more draft capital, maybe for their future. Trade down to maybe late in the top 10 for a team that wants a quarterback, let's say Carolina or Denver, maybe even San Fran. I don't know.
I don't know. I love Parsons, and you guys know why. I mean, he dominated throughout, but I would definitely not. I'm not touching Surtain. I mean,
all right, 5 Bengals. This needs to be Penny. And if it's not, you trade down for where the next offensive line deserves to go because
slipped for Penny. I don't really understand why. I mean, before he was the generational offensive line prospect who everybody loved, and now, it's barely top 5, but I think it's a steal for Cincy.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect match just because, Jonah Williams was out for the season, and he is young. He could work at guard, but Sewell, regardless of his mechanics, is probably the best lineman since probably even better than Quentin Nelson. A lot of people say best tackle prospect since Trent Williams, and that's definitely true because the athleticism overpowers his mechanics, and I think I know AJ Green's kind of leave soon. I know there's issues in the defense, but Penei Sewell, and just even if they want to trade down, if they think that Sewell's going to fall too long, or maybe go Rashawn Slater, I think they'll be fine. But just protect Joe Burrow. It's just
you need to protect the man who threw for 60 touchdowns in the season.
Yeah, that's maybe should be
a priority. Yep.
Yeah.
I flashback to 10 minutes ago, and I said Miami needs to draft Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith.
Whichever one's still there.
Draft needs to go to Philly.
Yep. Please.
Jalen Reagor's not number 1.
Don't overcomplicate this.
7.
They could go. Detroit could go a Jalen Waddle. Or Micah if he's on the board.
I think it's Waddle.
Yeah, I think just with Marvin Jones getting old and on the market, same thing with. Kenny Golladay isn't getting older, but he is expiring. Yeah. You might as well just get in any other draft. I think Waddle would be a receiver 1. This is just a super top-heavy class.
And I think people need to remember that before Waddle went down, he was extremely outperforming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, whatever. All right, pick 8. Carolina doesn't even have to move up or down, and they got Wilson. That's what they needed. Just pick Wilson.
Did you have to choose? Yeah, I say Lance would be on the board, but
yeah.
And now Denver and Dallas, two teams that desperately need corners. Guess what?
Yeah, it could go either way for each of them. I say Farley Surtain, but it could go Surtain.
I just hate the Surtain tape so much, and I can argue back and forth with guys about it, but just man to man, it's just not there. He's just not physical enough for me. So
we're at 10. 11 for.
This is New York. You're drafting.
This is interesting. For 11, this is interesting. Because they could go offensive line because their line sucks. The defensive line's already really good. Like if Micah's on the board, I go Micah because perfect match. I can't really see. I can't name a good linebacker off the top of my head on that team. I'm like, yeah, like I say either Micah or like maybe Kwity Paye or a Slater.
Yeah, I think Kwity Paye is being underrated.
Yeah, he's probably the edge one in this draft.
This is undoubtedly the offensive lineman.
Yeah, I say if Slater's on the board, maybe he can reach for Vera Tucker because I guess interior would work too. But yeah, just whatever the third best tackle on the board.
Yep.
Like God, imagine if the Giants had Wirfs or Wills or.
Nice.
And if Waddle's down there, I think the Giants would.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect.
Yeah.
All right, 12, 13, 14, all of line. I think that's all.
Really? I think Micah could go there.
And Micah's off the board by 12.
Okay.
But if he's not, if Micah's off the board, 12 through 14 is all O line, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely for LA and Minnesota, but
15 Pitts, also not a question.
Yep. Yeah. That's a perfect fit.
Arizona, linebacker or running back.
Yeah, like a Wusa Koromoa, or like if you want to reach for Najee Harris, ETN, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
You're at 17.
Oh, Vegas should go edge.
Literally anything on defense.
Yeah.
Anything's got.
Like if they want to reach for a corner, like they always do, might as well go like J.C. Horn.
Well,
but I think you could go edge.
Mayock pick, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the most Mayock pick I can see is like Rousseau.
Yeah.
Which one?
Just because it's developmental, and his ceiling is the roof, but his floor is
the basement.
Average.
Had him going top 10 before.
Yeah. And then,
I don't know why he just died down all of a sudden. I think a lot of players who opted out, their hype just died down. That was a top 5 pick at the beginning of the year.
Paye or Osai would be fine. So just address edge, address maybe linebacker. I think Koromoa would be a good pick.
Yeah.
Or even like a Zaven Collins. I don't know.
Pick here.
Yeah.
All right. 18.
Miami has to be lineman. Has to be a lineman for Miami.
18 lineman, offensive lineman doesn't matter as long as it's the lineman. 19 Washington.
Football team, receiver definitely.
Receiver.
If Lance isn't there, it has to be Lance.
Bateman or
Tony. I say like Tony for football.
I'd say Rondell Moore, but
Rondell Moore's fun. They might reach for Bateman, but I'm not like as high as him.
Bateman or Tony, whichever one they don't draft.
Yeah, whichever one they want.
And then I think right here is where you get a stretch of receivers and running backs.
For Indy, I think they could go O-line just because what's his name? They're off their left tackle, retired. I forgot his name, but
does it begin with a C?
It's Anthony Cassanza.
I can see. I don't know what. Maybe Jalen Mayfield.
Maybe Miami's maybe Mayfield, Eichenberg. I don't know.
All right, they got Tennessee. I think this is a receiver.
Yes, actually, I think Tennessee needs to be defensive line because they are one of the worst run defense in the league. I think this could be a good Rousseau spot as well.
Too.
Yeah, so I say either one of the three defensive ends, like Osai, maybe Rousseau, Jalen Phillips. Maybe even go interior like Barmore or like
Ojulari from Georgia.
Yeah, Nixon. Yeah.
Next
the
is
Jets. The Jets, I think they could go running back.
Now, all right. Here's my thing. I've used this logic twice now. The Jets need to take ETN or Najee Harris, and whichever one they don't take, Pittsburgh needs to take. James Conner.
Yeah.
Well, for
I mean,
Pittsburgh, I say if Zaven Collins on the board, it's kind of a perfect fit because Bud
yeah.
Dupree was playing under
Yeah.
the tag, and I think he's just a free agent now. So
And I don't
unless
mind
they would go
Edmonds.
offensive line too, but like yeah,
They're gonna
whatever.
get Devin Bush back. He was
Oh, that's true. That's true.
25. Jacksonville needs to address one of the lines.
Yeah, just best lineman on the board.
Same with, I think Cleveland just goes best defensive player on the board.
Yeah, I think if Bolton's on the board, that'd be really good.
It's a perfect pick right there.
Yeah, Baltimore has to be receiver.
Baltimore receiver, New Orleans defense, possibly linebacker.
Yeah,
Possibly
I think New
quarterback?
Orleans has to be best player available.
Yeah.
Because they have so many players leaving because of just the cap hell that they put themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they want to like Terrace Marshall, J.C. Horn, maybe go edge. I don't know, just because
Green Bay should take like
either a corner or receiver. I think corner is a bigger need just because outside of Jared Alexander, like is Kevin King really your second best corner? We've seen how bad this turned out.
But I think Rodgers is definitely going to advocate for help with the way that season ended. In order to make him happy, I think you might have to.
I don't think Rodgers needs help anymore. I think.
I think he's still he won an MVP without.
That's true.
After Tanyan's emergence, I don't think it's that bad anymore.
Yeah, I think the other weapons aside from Devontae are still respectable enough.
Yeah.
I think Tanyan should have been a Pro Bowler. That's a tight end right there. You got Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones.
Yep.
2 Pro Bowl linemen. I think he has enough help.
Yeah.
Buffalo, I can see.
I can see running back. Might see running back or offensive line.
Yeah.
It's either one of those two. Or if they want to reach for like Freiermuth, then go ahead. But I don't really see that.
That would be fun. I love Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Kansas City here. This is either.
Is either edge or like guard. Just
reaching receiver.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, if Rondo's on the board, you might as well, but I don't really see that happening.
And Tampa Bay is just best offensive lineman.
Yeah, best lineman or best like interior defensive line just because Ndamukong Suh is getting old and Shaq Barrett's. I mean, I don't know if they have the money for that, but in the event that they do lose him, I think they have to go defensive line.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole round.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be keeping up with all that draft coverage, all the offseason coverage as the NFL season continues. It's never really over. So we will see. We'll be back with basketball, of course. The Sixers, tough loss today, but they will be back. And but yeah, see you guys soon. And as always, fire hard.
Yeah, see ya.
See you guys.